write a first-person narrative and if you build in multiple characters, in my opinion, I think you understand what they are doing and why they are doing it, right? What are the feeling when they are doing something, when they are speaking something? You actually understand where they are coming from. So even very dark characters, you understand why they are dark, what is their history, what is the context, and you kind of build in some tidbits here and there. It was a very conscious choice because it's a thriller. The vantage point of having multiple characters tell what they are observing and seeing was definitely going to be a game changer. And thrillers told from multiple perspectives always will intrigue a reader, saying that, okay, no, this person is also right, this person is also right, this person is right, then what happened? So I think that adds a element to it of more of mystery. So this was
Thriller as a genre is something that gets all of us excited. We sit at the edge of our seat, we want to know what happened, and from childhood, watching the mysteries in the Takeshi's Castle to Sherlock Holmes mysteries, solving puzzles, understanding who killed who got kidnapped, what happened in somewhere in a particular day, we all get extremely excited. I have a guest today about whose book The Times of India has told that it is one of the best mind-bending thrillers of the year. So welcome to the next show with Naghma, and today with me I have the author of The Fifth Hour, Rahul Jain. Rahul, welcome to the next show.
Thank you so much, Naghma. It's an honor to be here with Naghma and the team, and I'm very happy that The Fifth Hour is getting all the attention that it truly deserves. So glad to be here.
So tell me honestly, when you started getting good reviews, like even from media, not just the readers, what exactly did you feel?
Yeah, I think for the authors can write for different reasons. Sometimes they write in for just their own pleasure. Sometimes they write in to share stories. Some people also write in to make money. I think to each their own. For me as an author, I think if anybody who's spending their time reading the book and they like it, they find it worthwhile their time, is definitely it gives a very good feeling of gratification, a sense of satisfaction. So I think when The Fifth Hour actually took me to media, where media started recognizing this, I think it was a sense of achievement as well. Because after writing 3-4 books which were also loved equally by the readers and critics, now this is the time when even the media started paying attention. So definitely all thanks, all full of gratitude.
This journey of yours as an author, and it's not just this one book, you've always been a writer, and your professional career being in the IT sector, these are like a railway track. It doesn't meet each other at all. How do you manage this?
So I think we all need to find our calling. In my mind, what I do professionally is connected to my mind actually. So what I do at my job, which is my daily routine, in a way it helps keep my mind sane. But I wanted my heart to be sane as well, and I think when I write it from the heart. So I think if every human being kind of finds what connects their mind and what connects their heart. For me, heart is all writing, and for me, mind is my job. So I think both of them function very well, just like a human body.
Oh, that's nice. Beautifully put. I like how that is. So how difficult, because even I have a lot of friends and cousins in the IT sector, and everybody keeps complaining that it consumes a lot of time. Okay, if you are in a beginner level and you do not know what you're doing, then of course it's a quick easy job. But people who are actually invested, there are projects, deadlines, people working in different time zones, and it's always so hectic. You earn well, the good part of it, but then time becomes a huge thing. The availability of time, and everybody tells also, yes, we have every resources, you have money, everything, but you're not getting time to get it on your daily life. You might get holidays, but not on your daily life. So as a writer, what is your routine like? How do you manage your work, time, family, kids, everything put together? How do you manage your time?
Yeah, I think you know, a carefully planned regime can take care of it. Just like now, people are very conscious about their health, both
Mm.
physical as well as mental health.
Yeah.
And you have, I think all of us and most of the listeners of this podcast and the viewers as well would have something in the daily routine. Like they may be going out to gym, they may be
Mm.
going out to, to a Zumba class or for cycling. Um, or they might be just going for a yoga class or meditating, right? It could also be people who are going to temples. So
Yeah.
I think in your daily routine, each one of us, most of us, have found something they have taken across time for themselves,
Yeah.
and they have fit that in their daily routine apart
Yeah.
from the jobs as well. So I think that's what I do as well. I wouldn't say that I do that daily, actually as such, but I am a light sleeper. I wake up early, and typically at that point of time everybody in the house is sleeping, so I use that time, weekends are specifically those times, on Saturdays and Sundays, when I get a longer window of like say 2-3 hours when I can write. For me, I also need time to read, because I feel if I read good content, then it helps me write better. So I need to manage that, but I think probably an hour in a day, I think each one of us can find, and if our jobs are flexible, by God's grace, and it also we are also doing justice to our jobs, then
Yeah.
you can find even more time. So a carefully planned regime can actually take care of it. It's all about prioritizing, I believe.
How was your preparation for the fifth hour like? How long did it take you to think about the idea, get that idea together, write your manuscript, like till publishing? After publishing is a different story. What
Correct.
was the journey with fifth hour like for you?
Great. So I think I wrote this book around 2 years ago, actually.
Oh,
I
okay.
started writing it around
Mhm.
2.5 years ago. I wrote the book in 7 to 8 months.
Mm.
Um, there was a short story that I'd written. I've written a collection of short stories, two books actually. One of the short story was had a thriller angle to it,
Okay.
and when a lot of my readers came back to me saying that, Rahul, we did not know this side of yours.
Ah.
It is very surprising. It is very dark. It was very witty. At the same time, it was very unexpected. So at every page, something was happening,
Okay.
and I loved that feedback.
Okay.
I thought that if I had that streak inside me, why can't I make this short story a novel, perhaps? Probably this theme per se. So therefore, I thought I should probably do that. So that feedback encouraged me. Second, I think I'm very good content on OTTs coming now. I saw something called as Aranyak on Netflix. Ravina had kind of starred in it. That really intrigued me because I think it was a very gripping series. I'm a fan of Sriram Raghavan's movies. I'm a fan of the movie, the director, which is kind of directed Seven, as well as the Fight Club and the Social Network and Gone Girl. So in these movies, if you kind of see, people are always guessing what next, what's happening. And I think that really intrigued me. I think that captivated me to kind of put everything together and write something which is worthwhile. So preparation, I think for most of the authors out there, the idea has been building up in your mind for a couple of years.
Okay.
And then you're just waiting for the right opportune moment to just bring it out all on the laptop or on the paper, in case if you prefer that way. So that's how the fifth hour was born.
Who was your first reader and what was that very raw manuscript? Who read it and what was that feedback? Like before your editor would have done another set of magic.
Yeah. So I've been working with, all my books have been edited by someone called as Celia. She's from Kerala. We know each other professionally. We used to work in the same organization, and all my books were edited by her. So on every book, she's very honest, and the feedback comes out very unfiltered and raw. On this book, when she read the book, she did not give me feedback.
Okay.
After she read the book, and after a day and so, then she gave me the feedback, and the feedback was very encouraging. She was very surprised, and she said, "I'm still, thinking." What came out of your mind? Why did you write this book? And I did not know this shade of yours.
Okay.
So that was very encouraging. So obviously there were some finer tunes that she asked me to do, and then my editor and Paper Towns also helped me kind of fine tune it and bring it to the product that it is right now. But yeah, she kept quiet for a day because she kept on thinking that what made Rahul write this, and is this the Rahul that I really know? So
Okay.
that was very encouraging. So and then she loved the book. Um, yeah. So I think that was her
Uh,
honest feedback.
I think if you can get somebody speechless,
Yeah.
that's one of the best feedback you could
Absolutely.
actually get. And the book is amazing. I mean, even from the time that I've read the book, I mean, jumping around and suggesting it to people, telling people that, dude, this is so mind boggling that
Yeah.
you get so taken away with the book. But
Right.
then that way, yeah, congratulations to you. The book
Thanks.
is
Thank you so much.
brilliant. When I did not expect this level of intrigueness, how do
Yeah.
you call it, in level of mystery.
Correct.
It's par with a lot of good international books that I've read, and these are the international
Nice.
bestsellers I'm talking about. So
Thanks.
congratulations to
Thanks,
you with
Naghma.
that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are more books coming out in this genre now that you've established yourselves as a thriller person?
Correct. So I think what really gets you going as an author is, see, you always have a couple of friends in the industry, and you would reach out to them for any kind of support that they could kind
Yeah.
of provide. This time I'm getting reviews from people that I don't know of and I'm not
Okay.
collaborating with.
Okay.
I remember there was a lawyer from Delhi who suddenly wrote saying that if this was turned to a case, then you would have decided something else on the case knowing the evidences,
Okay.
but the truth would have been completely different. So lawyers, please read this book. And I don't have any courtroom scene in this book, but a lawyer to read this and think about how characters can behave actually, and how do you
Wow.
need to kind of go deep
Yeah.
was very encouraging. I had a review from another teacher actually who just met me at the New Delhi Book Fair, and then she read it and then she gave an honest feedback saying that I'm going through some phases like this in my life, and I hope I can do the same thing, or I can have the same journey as some of the characters had. So,
Okay.
so that's really encouraging, actually.
Yeah.
Another good thing in this book is that because it's told from a first-person narrative and there are multiple characters, when you as a reader would kind of read this, you will be immediately thinking yourself through the eyes of that character.
Yeah,
You
you're
will
in
be,
their shoes.
you are actually in their shoes. So I think that has worked well for the book, and it's worked well for me. It's encouraging. I typically like to take a break from the genre so that I can come back strong.
Okay. So in the book, like how you just said, you have the first person narrators. It could be Rati, it could be the police officer, it could be anyone. They are narrating the stories themselves. And like you said, as a reader, it really helped me to be in their shoes. I'm not imagining, but I'm in the situation. So that was brilliant in its own way. But was this a conscious decision? Because this is also technicalities of writing, right? Because as a reader, you can always like or dislike, but for a writer, narratives, what voice, what to do, when, these are all very techniques. So was this a conscious decision? Was a book like that from the start? And why I'm asking that, for a new writer, how do they take a conscious choice on how exactly to go about with their storytelling?
Absolutely. Great question, actually. See, when you are visualizing a story in your mind, when you're thinking how it will all plan out, typically third person narratives are from the third person, right? So you get into any reader would actually get into the voice of the author, wherever it is. Uh, but if you write a first person narrative and if you build in multiple characters, um, in my opinion, I think you understand what they are doing and why they are doing it, right? What are the feeling when they are doing something, when they're speaking something? You actually understand where they're coming from. So even very dark characters, you understand why they are dark, what is their history, what is the context, and you kind of build in some tidbits here and there, what they're going through, what is going on in their mind. And even very simple, innocent characters, you understand that, okay, if you read about this, then at that point of time, what are they feeling, right? So for me, it was a very conscious choice because it's a thriller. The vantage point of having multiple characters tell what they are observing and seeing was definitely going to be a game changer. And thrillers told from multiple perspectives always will intrigue a reader, saying that, okay, no, this person is also right, this person is also right, this person is right, then what happened? So I think that adds a element to it of more of mystery. So this was a conscious choice of writing it from multiple character points.
So, in entire of this journey of putting in the narratives, what is the most surprising thing that you have in it?
So the most surprising thing, I think, is there is none of the characters actually know till the end what happened. The
Okay.
USP of the fifth hour is that only the reader,
Okay.
when they will read, they will
Uh-huh.
read, they will read, they will get shades, hints
Okay.
of multiple characters,
Okay.
and the end is what brings it all together, or what
Mm.
actually happened. So I think the USP of the fifth hour,
Yeah.
I think, is the fact that only the reader will come to know what actually happened. The characters do not come to know till the end what has happened. Now, if there's a sequel to it, then they may not. But right now, it will be the reader who will actually know the truth.
Ah, so the advocate who gave the review is actually a reader who can have perspective,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
police
absolutely.
officer in the book who's actually investigating the case doesn't really know what
Doesn't
goes
really
on.
know what
Okay,
happened.
that's brilliant. Like that's actually amazing. But
Yeah.
how did you end up with this title, The Fifth Hour?
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. So, um, I contemplated a lot of, lot of titles actually, and along with my publisher and their team, we contemplated a lot of
Yes,
titles.
yes.
The book was the original title as Wend. Wend is a very
Okay.
very circular way of reaching a
Uh-huh.
destination. Um, but also we try to see is that what happened at what point of time. Maybe
Okay.
that holds a so the idea was to either talk about the more significant milestone in the book, because that is the whole story is weaved around that, or
Yeah.
to talk about the journey.
Okay.
So between the journey and the milestone, because the milestone was so intriguing, because everyone is like, what happened at that point of time,
Yeah.
kind of won over, and therefore the fifth hour came. And the fifth hour, interestingly, is like 5 a.m. close to.
Yeah.
So that's when everything happened. So therefore, it just made sense.
Mm.
And coincidentally, my number is 5. My number is 5, and this is my book number 5 as well. So kind of
Oh,
everything was falling into
lovely.
place. So
Okay.
therefore, the fifth hour just made sense. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. What is the craziest, unexpected feedback that you got on the book? Like the craziest. You never thought that somebody would tell like this.
So I think, as an author, there are multiple shades of the characters that you're thinking. Um, while the team was reviewing it, and the first early reviewers, they brought in a perspective of Vipin, the
Okay.
inspector,
Yeah.
saying that, oh, he behaved this way because of this. And I was like, no, 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 no. I tried to defend it by saying that he's a flawed character. But then I realized that a reader obviously could have multiple perspectives, because they are reading it in the way they have their own life experiences, they have watched different things, they have read different things. So, about Vipin per se, I tried to portray him in a particular shade with some shades of his character.
Yeah.
But that reviewer told me, no, he is behaving this way because of this so and so reason, and this is what goes well, doesn't go well.
Yeah.
And I realized that Vipin had more character depths that ended up on the paper than I was imagining. So it was very I was very happy
Eye-opening.
that my writing had come out and brought more shades than I had imagined. So that's good.
That's nice. Food for thought for the next book.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so within, like when you're talking about the characters itself, everybody has a complete different nature,
Correct.
habits,
Correct.
and all of that. How do you build your characters? Do you let them grow like on the way through the book, or you plan, plot? What is that style like for you when you're building your characters?
Absolutely. So, the character whenever I introduce a character in the book, I think in the first few pages itself, you'll build an image of the character. And I'm right out there. I'm pointing out their extremities.
Okay.
I'm pointing out their thoughts.
Okay.
Very raw, unabashed. Like Ayan, from the very first line, you will either like or not like, or you will go along with that philosophy. But Vipin, for example, from the first line,
Yeah.
and similarly with Rati as well.
Yeah.
Rati is uh, portrayed as a character who's confused, searching, going through her own nightmares, and that's how the first para for
Mm.
Rati was.
Mm.
Vipin, as such, is as an inspector, he's frustrated that
Yeah.
he's posted in Zongu
Yeah.
and he's from Kerala.
Yeah.
So that frustration and just doing a checklist in him, bored, kind of comes out in the first para. Ayan, as such, has a very clear objective of how he wants to live his
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
and how he's going to meet his ends. That also
Yeah.
comes out in first para.
Yeah.
So all my characters, they come out very raw, right in the first 1 or 2 pages itself in the introduction, and you would kind of form that perception. And then as you keep on reading about more of them, about their voices in your head, you'll come to know more layers. So that's how you build more mystery around them.
Okay. As a reader, yeah, I completely agree, because I think these three main characters within the first, especially when it is their time to tell the story,
Correct.
you immediately catch up what this person is. Then
Correct.
you start judging them in that perspective. But then at the same time, I was glad when I was reading the book also, it never stopped there. So
Yeah.
there is a chance that when you play around and introduce the character so quickly,
Correct.
there is a chance that the character gets built in my head as a reader so
Correct.
strong,
Correct.
I'm not ready to move from that perspective.
Correct.
But one good thing I found in the book is that as the story moves, and this is, I got to understand the character from their own narrative.
Correct.
But later, when other narratives are coming in and they are talking about this person,
Correct.
it's actually adding in more layers
Absolutely.
and not restricting me as a reader, which is
Correct.
rare,
Correct.
to just think of it in one way.
Absolutely.
You're welcoming the changes,
Correct.
perspectives, adding, and then looking at the people in different ways.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
that was amazing journey as a
Yeah.
reader for me personally.
Yeah.
Now, talking about the characters, sorry, were you telling
Yeah,
something?
I'm just trying to add to it. I think a reader will have more fun when they
Yeah.
have built a framework or an image of this character, and then you break that framework.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
exactly what you're saying, when you break that framework and say, oh, this is another layer to it. Hey, have you thought of it differently? And then reader is like, okay, fine, just give me more,
Yeah.
and that's what makes them.
Yeah. So initially
keep
it
me
came
engaged.
as a surprise. I was like, okay, what just happened? I didn't think, or I didn't expect this person to do this.
Right.
And then something happens, and then you're like, okay, now that this happened, okay, more is coming. Okay, keep coming. Now that I know that this character building is not over, you're actually welcome after a while to
Right.
just keep getting surprises.
Correct.
That was a brilliant journey. As a reader, I
Thanks.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank
So
you.
thanks
Thank
to
you so
you
much,
for
Naghma.
that. So while we talk about the characters, one thing I observed in the book, you've strongly caught up on the mental wellness bit.
Absolutely.
Because especially Rati, and not just from Rati's perspective, but in multiple ways, even
Absolutely.
Vipin to an extent,
Correct.
their wellness, their thought processes, what's going behind, and even you even went into certain bit of medical inclusions also. Where does this background come from? Like, was it you wanted to voice out some issues so that people understand things better? So what is the thought process behind including a full mental wellness concept?
Correct. So another great question, Naghma. Actually, I think lately, since the last decade or so, when a lot of influencers out there in the society, be it film stars, be it authors, be it even very senior persona in the society, have started to talk about mental health. And I think mental health should no longer be a stigma. I think there is still a lot of scope for us to kind of normalize into the society, specifically with our lives. We are so busy these days. When we meet our really close and best friends, we just want to have a good time.
Okay.
In fact, I have some friends, when you actually want to share something deep with them, they are like, hey dude, I'm here just to chill. So let's just talk about more fun stuff. So I think there is more and more need for people to kind of take, to kind of pay attention to their mental health. There are a lot of sources out there. There's no longer a time when only you would depend only on your parents or on your school best friends or professional bestie at work. I think while all that definitely exists, I think if this is being dealt professionally, when people are experts and they offer you advices which are not biased but coming from a third party,
Yeah.
completely neutral basis,
Yeah.
it definitely helps you take better life decisions.
Yeah.
And we all have some baggages, right? Like in this book, Rati had her own baggage
Yeah.
of how abandonment played a big role for her when
Yeah.
she was growing up.
Yeah.
Vipin had a trauma that he couldn't get away from. Similarly, Ayan had some observations growing up where he was never open to his parents, but he observed few things in society per se. He was brought up very well, but still he had certain perceptions about societies. So I think all of them, if they would have gone through, and like Rati does, but if all of them could have got the medical attention that they needed from a counseling perspective, the story may not have been written.
I was about to tell that. Good they didn't go.
But yeah, I think I'm just trying to break the stigma. I'm just trying to do my part as an author and as a influencer to kind of make sure that people do take care of their mental health as much as they can, because that definitely does wonders.
That's brilliant. But then, talking about Rati itself, the way that you've delved so deep into her issues, her nightmares, her problems, her trauma, how she is recovering thanks to Ayan, but then again things go back to square one. But things like that, I'm sure this would have taken a lot of research, and not just from this perspective of mental wellness, but even the locations, because you're telling the story from different places.
Correct.
There's a past where you're using a city, then there is somewhere in the northeast where we have no idea what is going on. Did you travel? Did you meet with a mental expert to get more understanding? So what was your research process like?
Great. So I think a lot of inspiration came in from the earlier sources that I cited, from the OTTs, from the books. I think a lot of research also came in from experiences that I've had with shades of these characters and multiple of the people that I may know of. Definitely, I consulted a therapist, my counselor, to understand if there's anything, how does he process, any surprise that comes his way. I also have friends as well as family members or cousins who are actually criminal psychologists.
Oh, wow.
So they deal with criminals who have done something really, really big, and then they come with a lot of guilt or a lot of no guilt, so I've heard a lot of stories. I've had them share a lot of experiences. I think Gurgaon, I've lived there for a couple of years, and Zongo as such as a place, I have not visited, but I visited parts of Northeast. And Zongo, I did a lot of research. I spoke to somebody from Sikkim as well to understand what goes on, how do people behave over there, what is the typical life of a person living in Zongo. So that helped me a lot. So that was, I think, my research methodology. The shades of Rati as a character is something which was nuanced. I believe that in case if you have had some things in your life which have shaped you the way you are, when you seek professional help, you kind of try and forget, but you learn to live on. I think the therapists and the counselors help you to kind of live on and move on from that part of life. But if an incident like that, or a trigger as we kind of call it in the journey, still happens, then everything kind of comes back. So that's how Rati's character was shaped, actually.
Who are you most protective about among the three characters? Personally, I'm not asking favorite. Because everybody is exposed to this.
Correct,
Who are you protective about?
So I'm most protective about Vipin, to be honest, because he's trying his best. He's very innocent, I think. At least that's what I wanted to kind of bring out. Rati is also very innocent, but I still think that she has some medical help. She is seeking some help, and she at least now has the support of Vipin and the entire society, as well as the other characters in the book. Vipin has no one in this book, and I think I wish, if I was friends of all of these characters, I would definitely say, Vipin, dude, you need to take care of yourself.
yeah, being a fellow Malayali, I think I had my soft corners too with him. But
Yeah.
as a reader, I can judge anything. But that's amazing. What is next for you?
So I have this habit of writing short stories and
Mm.
then a novel,
Mm.
and I think I've written two novels now back to back. My earlier one being Wayanad, it was a coming of age story, dedication to all my friends from Kerala. And then this was a novel again.
Yeah.
So I think next one is definitely going to be short story. There's going to be a theme which is going to play through all the short stories.
Okay.
I've written few of them.
Okay.
I've let people read it. They have given me some constructive feedback. Some have been loved, but it's definitely going to be a collection of at least 8 to 10 short stories that may be kind of coming out before I pick up my other novel.
How different is the journey of a writer when he's writing the book and once the book is out?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think again, every writer will kind of give a different
Yeah.
answer to this.
Yeah.
For me, I think most of the writers will say they love the part of
Okay.
writing
Mm.
because that's when they're kind of putting it all
Yeah,
out there
with themselves.
with themselves and be themselves. There are absolutely no deadlines.
Yeah.
There is no judgment. They're just a beautiful story each one of them
Yeah.
is trying to put out there.
Yeah.
I enjoy that journey the
Yeah.
most. I think publication also as such as a journey I enjoy because they're just trying to make the book in the shape and form that a lot of others can also appreciate this, right? So I do definitely enjoy, and I think we all out there definitely need many other set of eyes to make the book
Yeah.
to what it becomes.
Yeah.
Marketing as such after the book has been published is also an integral part. See, these days and stuff, everything out there is on social media, everything out there is on the word of mouth.
Yeah.
We are seeing like every city is hosting now literature festivals as well, and they all are getting footfalls.
Yeah.
It's not that only a New Delhi Book Festival will be getting, or a Kolkata or a Bangalore
True.
one, or even the Kerala Literature Festival is getting. I think a lot of now cities are doing this. Everyone is getting footfalls. So it is important for an author out there, if they have written good work, to kind of make sure that the book reaches its target audience through multiple mediums, right? Through other literature fairs or through social media. So it has now become more of a necessity than something whether you enjoy, you don't enjoy, you need to kind of go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
Because in the end, what you wanted is for the story to be read by someone and make it worthwhile their time, right? So I think it's just a part of the process. So yeah.
That's good. But thank you so much for bringing out such a book that's so intriguing, so well done. I'm sure your close friends would have had a surprise imagining the fact that it's you who wrote the book. So good luck to you with continuously dealing with that. So it's a good problem to have. But then good luck to you with that. But Rahul, good luck in your journey, because I haven't read any of your previous work, so I don't know to tell about them. But with this, obviously, you've established yourself as an amazing writer. So congratulations on that, and good luck with everything that's going to come up in your life, especially in the writing side and the future. And I thank you so much.
Thank you.
For being part of this conversation today. Is there a message that you would want to share it with your readers?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for being so kind, Naghma. I think, as I said, it is my equal pleasure to be a part of this, journey along with the Author Nest. And the message that I would want to kind of leave with all the viewers out there is, I think there's a lot of good work out there. If you were expecting yourself as a viewer or a listener to be different, maybe it's time that we kind of give chances to a lot of different people out there and not just look at only the best-selling section. So when you are next in that bookstore or whether you're on Amazon, going and scrolling through the books, just don't look at the top 10 selling books, because they may be top 10 selling because of multiple reasons. It could be good content, it could be good marketing, it could be a very strong publishing house. But I think as a reader and listener, I think you definitely are a different persona, and maybe you need to kind of give others a chance as well, because I'm sure that like the Fifth Hour, there are a lot of good work out there which is waiting for to get duly noticed. So yeah, I think a small step could go a long way. So give everyone a chance, and I think you may stumble upon something which you really
Amazing
love.
content. Yeah. Thank you so much, and thanks to all the viewers for being part of the Nest Show today. And we are signing off from the Nest Show. And Rahul, thank you, and good luck with your journey.
Thank you, Naghma. Thank you to all the viewers of the next show. Take care.